Welcome to TeraTalk episode 3. I'm Tesla Owls, and today we receive Kestutis.
Yeah,
Well,
hi.
hi. So you're a software developer, Kestutis? Is that right?
Yes.
Then tell us about you.
Well, I live in forest of Finland, the only country which can provide fiber optical cable in the middle of nowhere, and doing a lot of stuff remotely most of the time. So now developing like OTC crypto trading desk for one company, then like social lottery project with another, and a few more tiny things.
Okay. So
Yeah.
since you're working in software, I'm thinking we talk about software today. First
Okay.
big question: what do you think, if you know anything about the next update coming, the full self-driving software update?
It's very hard to expect because most of the time, like Elon Musk, I mean, he always under promises and over delivers as of recently.
Yeah.
However, he hyped it that if it's going to be very right, it's going to be awesome. Like, don't expect fully functioning full self-driving. Well, technically it should work, but I don't think it will work just about in every case. But I
Yeah,
think it will learn pretty well all corners of the world. Just imagine getting all the data live. Yeah, it's
yeah, I think you're right. Like, maybe he doesn't so far under promise and over deliver for full self driving. Like, autopilot is the one thing I would say where he hasn't always delivered as much as he promised. But it should be, from what he said, it should be pretty insane.
yeah. Just think about it. Like technically, it's very hard to estimate how fast AI learns.
Yeah,
And what he didn't expect maybe until even last year that like major refactoring is due, and to rewrite everything from scratch it takes time. So at that some years ago, he didn't imagine he will end up in needing such a fundamental rewrite.
totally agree. And I think they've been working on that rewrite for much longer than people think. When do you think robot taxi will be a thing? Meaning, like they open it to the public, similar to how Waymo just did it. They opened their service to the public. When do you think Tesla will do just that with robot
I
taxis?
think it will be gradual release of full self-driving, and robotaxi is not coming on. I think before FSDs, like over some nines. You remember he said like there will be a long road of nines. That nines are reliability percentage like
Yeah.
99.9999. Yeah. So as soon as we reach maybe 7 nines or 9 nines after comma, then we I think
We can
it's
get
going to
robot
be robot
taxi.
taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be gradual improvements in like gradual improvements in features, which and gradual release of control from the human driver, I think,
Yeah,
with time.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Do you think they will release a sort of Uber like version before Robotaxi, or do you think they
I
will
think
just
so.
wait?
Yeah, I think we will wait,
You think
because
they'll
even
wait?
if
Yeah.
it makes yeah, even if it makes economical sense, just staging it requires resources, with human drivers,
I agree.
and maybe effort is not worth it. Maybe we see FSD fully complete so early that I don't think we see it even necessary, because think that making infrastructure like Ubers with all human drivers
It's yeah,
and stuff
you need a
globally,
big
yeah,
structure, and it's not really like what robotaxi would be. You have other expenses and other employees you
yeah,
have to
there's
care
a
about,
thing.
and lots of stuff that you don't need for robotaxi, and robotaxi needs lots of stuff that Uber doesn't need. So I think
Yes,
they're
exactly.
pretty different.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't think it was like I understand the Ark Invest's point of suggesting it,
Mm-hmm.
but that would be if, let's say, it may be worth doing it, in my opinion, if robotaxi would be like 5 years away with FSD.
Yeah.
In that sense, I would say
But you don't
it
think
may,
it's 5 years away? You think it's 2 3
no,
years away?
I think it's a year away. I think
Robotaxi from launching fully
in yes,
in the US. In the
depends.
US.
Uh, I don't even think US will be first.
Really? Where do you
I
think will
think
be
China
first?
will be first. I think China will be first.
Well, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard someone mention China regarding FSD, but they're gonna get a lot of data for China in the next few months, and they're
Yeah,
probably
because
already getting some, like a lot.
I think it's easier with China because if you get along good with government, and I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is good on government and has
Mm.
insiders there, uh, I think it will be easiest because technical implementation is not the barrier here. We will have fully functioning, amazing FSD long before robotaxis, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure,
The
for
big,
sure.
the biggest issue is regulation, and each country, each city has their own rules, their own policies. Remember that taxi drivers will revolt heavily against this. Never mind Uber, just regular taxi services.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and one thing we have worry less is China because their government will decide and it will be so. And it can happen within, China is moving very fast with everything, so it can be like a week's decision, I think.
China very much doesn't care too much. Like regulation is just it's just a paper, they sign it and it's done. Like
And
you
another
say,
thing,
like one week Elon says, "Hey, look, it's safer." They'll go, "Okay, good. I'm signing
if you
here."
would see, if you want a good example how China takes risks, just look at their high-speed train network.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, look, it came from idea into like biggest train network of the world in like 2 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
including infrastructure, building trains, like, and these high-speed trains, like, we have human drivers. But if you think that human can do anything when it's rolling 300 kilometers an hour, you
Mm.
are very, very wrong. It's like it's fully automated. Human is just overlooking things
Yeah.
because human can't even see signs at that speed.
Yeah, no, it would be too dangerous. The like you said, the nines, like a human is pretty good. A human is 99.999% good, which is like
Yeah,
it's pretty much never gonna fail. But if you have like thousands of trains driving for 10 hours a day or more, it's like it's gonna happen every 2 days or so. It's insane. You can't do that. You need robots because robots can artificially increase the number of nines. Like just improve it, and you go 99.99999%.
yeah. So China with their trains, we had like two crashes as far as I'm aware. The
Yeah.
big ones with fatalities. We had many more not serious accidents where people just got away
Yeah.
fine, but they took the risk with experimental system. Some of the trains they took from like first trains they bought from Siemens. This like they are German IC trains,
Mm-hmm.
but then they just copied them. They did their own.
Yeah. And
You know,
meanwhile, in France, we've got the TGV, the TGV, the high speed
yeah,
train, and I think to this day, many people assume that it's still the world record for fastest speed. It's like in China they go 3 times as fast because they're robots and they don't fall asleep, and you don't need them to, like you said, see speed signs at
yeah.
400 kilometers an
French,
hour.
yeah, French TGV holds the record of about, if I remember, 400, no, 580 something
Yeah.
kilometers, like 586
But
kilometers per
it's
hour. But
ridiculous compared to what a Chinese. That's like the average speed of a Chinese train or whatever. I'm exaggerating, but it's pretty much
you
it. It's
know,
like
it's even if it's running on electricity, it's too expensive to fight a resistance at that
mm,
speed.
yeah,
So they are going like 450 max, I think.
it's insane.
Another
Like
thing is safety. Another thing is safety because anything can happen, and with every 10 kilometers per hour above like 300,
yeah,
like risk of things which can go wrong is increasing like by twofold.
yeah.
So
And
imagine,
in case of an impact, like not only do you increase the probability of an impact, but in case of an impact, the result is way worse because you increase what is it? You increase the exponentially. What is it again? Oh man, I should go
yeah,
back to high school.
yeah, but whatever. The point is that, like in Germany, you know, these IC trains,
Yeah.
they technically had the license them to go 320, like between 2004 and maybe 2008 or something like that. I remember because I was traveling at that time.
Yeah.
We had these so-called sprinter trains. We were tilting, and due to that, we could achieve on their infrastructure higher reliable like speeds. But it was so like the risk was so elevated, and we had issues, so we have reduced it back to 300.
So
And now
because
if we,
we're on
yeah,
speed, um, how fast
yeah,
do you think robotaxis in the long term, like in 40 years, how fast do you think robotaxis will drive in the city?
in the city, I think we will, because of foot traffic, we can't go above the city rules, like 50 or 70 kilometers per hour depending on the road and area.
Mm-hmm. And so on the highway?
However, on the highway, I think we will go highway speeds easily,
Okay.
like because I think the biggest concern for currently for FSD is the sensors. Technically, they see visual sensor is the most reliable because it gets a picture. It technically sees as far as picture is taking, you know.
Mm.
But radar, for example, radar is like 300 meters, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't remember on my mind. But sonar sensors are like 80 meters. These are, of course, complementary, but their range is not spectacular because only in speeds under like 50 kilometers you can do anything about. With 80 meters notice, you know, you
Yeah.
can't even fully stop.
Yeah.
So
So you don't think the
this is
speed
why,
will increase that much, uh, assuming the current hardware? But if we change the hardware, you think we could increase the speed at
I don't
which
think
FSD drives?
so. Technically it's conditional. On highway I think it will go fast because it can.
Yeah,
because all speeds on the highway are relativistic because you're moving at very slow speed in relation to other traffic. It's
that's
not
true.
like
That's true.
somebody is going 50, you're going 300. No, it's like everyone is moving up about like 20 or 30 kilometers per hour difference between other cars.
But then obviously, like, it's probably not gonna drive at 250 because air resistance, again, it's not worth it at all for an EV to drive at 200 for any car to drive at 250
No,
kilometers an hour. Like
anything
it's
like
gonna maybe pick the
I'd
right
say
speed
120.
to,
Yeah,
like,
I think
considering your
120.
charging speed and everything.
Yeah, I'd say 120, and in loop tunnels it can be faster, of
Yeah,
course, but
yeah,
on
okay.
above ground, I think it's 120. I bet 120. It's like sane speed limit
Yeah, speed
because
limit here
every
is 130 on the highway. So I would have to say 150, 160 for FSD. I think it'll
uh
go that fast easily. I think.
it can go, but the until world regulates with speed because
Oh yeah, no, of course
it,
I'm
it
assuming the,
I,
like, regulation is okay with it. I'm assuming regulation says, okay, a robo taxi can go 200. We don't care. Yeah.
yeah, well, robotaxi can go 200 on FSD only highway.
Yeah, on the
Yes.
highway. Hopefully not in the city.
I mean, FSD only highway. That means that no other humans are driving
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, of course.
except Germany, where nobody really cares
Yeah.
who's driving on autobahn. It's no limit.
Yeah. I really can't wait for FSD to be allowed, or for Tesla to allow it on the autobahn at like 300. uh,
Yeah,
it's gonna it's gonna require it to be really safe for them to do that. They really shouldn't do that if it's not safe enough, but
but I
it's gonna
think
be
Plaid
fun when
will
it
be ready.
does.
I think Plaid will be ready for that.
Yeah, yeah. Plaid with FSD
Yeah.
in Germany. It's gonna be very fun. It's gonna be really scary for those who do that, but it's gonna be really fun to watch for us.
Well, actually, you can let it go alone.
Let it go alone. Like currently, you mean?
I mean, if you are afraid to sit in it, you can just let it go alone
Oh yeah,
and make
sure,
a.
sure. Someday. Right now you can, but it's not allowed. But technically you can
Yeah, I mean, when it will be allowed, if you
if
will
you
be
choose.
afraid to do it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still
Just
want to do
put a
it.
camera, let it do its thing, and get the
Yeah,
footage. All right. Well, thank you very much, Kestutis,
yeah.
and have
Was
a
nice chatting. Yeah.
was very nice chatting with you too, and have a good one.
Okay. Good night.
This was episode 3 of TeraTalk with Kestutis Januskevicius and Tesla Owls. I feel terrible for having butchered his name 3 times now, but you can find our respective links in the description. Of course, likes and shares are always appreciated, and so are suggestions for improvement and constructive feedback. If you feel like chatting with me in a future episode, hit me up on Twitter. And stay tuned, because next episode is gonna be legendary.